So thank you all for joining. We're going to begin. What we're going to do today is go over some of the features that we just launched, as well as a couple from a new feature release from a few weeks ago. We want to make sure that as we bring these new features to work in the TUO platform, that everyone is aware of them, they know what they do. And so first, I'm going to make everyone aware. We have an entirely new store type. This was about 7 months in the making. You will not see this feature. There's a brand new store type that we've developed called corporate apparel. So I'm not sure how many of you have ever used a roster store, a store in which you have a roster for a club or a team. You upload that roster. If in fact you ever do have a roster for a club or a team organization, it makes the ordering process significantly easier. So if you've not ever set up either a club roster or team roster store, please do reach out to us. It's one simple requirement. I'm working with an organization that will give me an email list of the people, the players, and the team. Difference between club and team is simple. A club store supports multiple teams. About 30% of the transactions on our platform are clubs, soccer clubs, lacrosse clubs, volleyball clubs. And of that 30%, 100% have given very large rosters to our dealers, and we upload them inside the account. And then instead of sending out a store link, each individual player and or parent is sent an invitation to come and shop. So it solves that problem of how do I get the store into the hands of the people who are going to buy stuff in my store. So if you're not familiar with roster stores, come back at us. We'll be happy to show you what that's all about. But in the past year and a half, a lot more of our clients are using the roster store feature, and they're using it to set up stores for companies, employees, automobile dealerships, restaurant chains. In fact, I hope I'm not speaking out of school, but we just had a client inform us yesterday that they just landed the Boston Marathon account. And they will be setting up company stores for over 40 sponsors of the Boston Marathon. Huge piece of business. The only thing I'm going to say about it is two things. Number one, it's not generally going to be made available to everybody. So we're going to vet and make sure it's a good fit. If you are working with a company or you have a prospect that is a company that wants to set up a company store, like I mentioned, an automobile dealership, a restaurant chain, this is a great solution. The second thing I'll mention, the reason it's a great solution, is it's a tool where you not only can upload the employees, but you can assign monetary value. Each employee is given an allotment to go in and actually buy a certain amount, companies paying for it. This store type will track down to the individual employee level every purchase they make, and it will not allow them to shop once they've used up their allotment. If it's something that you would like to learn more about or is interesting to you, again, reach back out to us. We can do a separate session on it, okay? All right, Lee?
Yep. Can you see my
Go
screen?
ahead. Yes, we can.
All right. Yep. So the first thing that we're going to point out is actually in the Dealer Reports tab. And if you've never used this before, this allows you to download reports across multiple stores. We're going to focus on the customer contact report, so you can gather all of your customer contacts at one time, but specifically a new feature that is related to this report. So we have this option now where you'll see a Send to MailChimp button. So when this is clicked, this is related to your actual MailChimp marketing list. So you'll be able to choose from all your different lists from MailChimp to be able to import all of those customer contacts and update it just with a click.
So how many of you do email marketing?
Yes.
Yes.
And what email software do you use? Tell me a little bit more about your email marketing. Anyone looks great.
Here at Motor City Soccer, we do our email marketing through our Square point of sale system.
Gotcha. Have you ever looked at Constant Contact or MailChimp?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So again, without delving too much into email marketing, it's probably the simplest, most cost efficient, and the major building block for actually building up a loyal following of people who buy products from you. So keep in mind, think of the number of people who are coming through a TUO storefront. They're buying something from you. They're paying $68, $100. Generally speaking, this is not specific to anybody on this call, but generally speaking, it's a one moment in time. They come, they buy, we don't hear from them again, right? So instead, through the dealer reports that Lee has just shown you, we make it very easy to go in and extricate or download all of your customer contact files. You should be marketing to them consistently if you're not. So again, we'll save that for another time, but we do help clients set up marketing campaigns, email marketing campaigns. I'm not sure if a lot of you are aware of that, but in this release, we make it very easy. The two most common email software programs that are being used are MailChimp and Constant Contact. They're not by any means all of them, but the majority of our clients that are doing email marketing, they either use MailChimp or Constant Contact. So now we make it very easy for you to keep taking the customer contacts out of your TUO account and putting them into your email software account, where hopefully you have some pretty extraordinary marketing campaigns. Go ahead.
All right. So we'll go back to the home page. Another new feature is something related to free products. So let's go into really any one of these stores. And if any of you are familiar with setting up free products, you'll know it's in the variability tab. And it's going to be towards the bottom. You'll see this free quantity setting. And so if this is set to something like 1, meaning the first one is free, normally that would mean even the personalization is also free for the product. But we've actually made it so that you can upcharge for personalizations on the free products. So if you needed to upcharge, even though the initial product is free for those personalizations, then you have that option now. So if we go to the personalizations tab, you'll see the option right here for charge for personalizations for free products. So you can just turn that on. So you'll see name and number options. These would actually upcharge for the free product at this point. And Jerry mentioned this as far as, you've probably noticed these green kind of boxes.
Green ugly boxes.
Yeah, underneath your store names.
Did you do the design of that, Lee?
I did not.
All right.
I cannot take that credit.
No,
but yeah, so these are labels. So you can assign store labels to, and these have been around for a long time now. We've just made it easier to add labels. You used to have to configure these from your My Account section, but now you can just click in here and you can choose to add a label. And the purpose of these labels is for organization, as far as being able to filter your stores, not only in your dashboard, but also in your dealer reports. So you can filter by your labels when you're inside of your dealer reports if you need to maybe get reporting based off of a specific type of store or specific individuals that are assigned to stores. So you'll see the filter right here in the case of your dashboard filters for your stores. So if you need to organize by specific dealer reps, maybe you have labels based on reps that are assigned to stores, then this would make it much easier to be able to filter out which stores are which.
Has anybody at all ever used store labels?
No.
Did anybody
No.
know that they were even in there?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. You're the one. So we did find you. We've been looking for you forever. We knew there was one client that knew we had store
Yeah.
labels.
I knew they were there. I just never used them.
Yeah. So it's totally up to you how you use them. Lee gave you one of many examples. Many of our clients, we have a client that has 25 reps. Every time one rep sets up a store, they label it with their name. We have another client that sets up labels by client. We have another client that sets it up by preferred brand, Adidas, Badger, Under Armour. So it's totally up to you what labels you set. But obviously, we were hiding them before, making it a little bit easier. So maybe you'll find more extraordinary or creative uses for labeling your stores when you set them up. Okay, Lee.
All right, so we're going to go into a catalog, and something we're going to look at are personalization options. So I'm sure all of you are familiar with the standard personalizations, and probably the custom personalizations as well. So I'm going to click into this product to edit it. And something that's changed about the custom personalizations is the fact that you can add many more. So instead of just having the ability to add 5 custom personalizations, you can actually go up to 15 now. So we've really expanded this. So if you have very custom products, maybe something like a hockey stick, where it's very diverse in terms of the types of fields that would need to be filled out, text fields, drop downs.
So I'll tell you the inspiration for a simple question that came at us a few months ago. Why do you limit the number of customized personalization fields? And it turned out this particular person sells Letterman jackets, varsity jackets. And coincidentally, there were 10 different combinations of jackets that they offer, color of sleeve, position of logo, etc. So we got to thinking, and we actually found a couple more clients that sell letter jackets. So we got to thinking, why limit it? So we've expanded the opportunity for you to add more personalization choices.
And that's any combination of text fields and drop downs. And
show how you can create a drop down as long as you're there.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as creating a drop down, you just click the option next to personalization type. You can set it to mandatory if needed, but for display name, that's essentially the question that you're asking. So something pretty common is something like logo choice.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that because I actually already made that one up here. But anyway, yeah, so you'll choose drop down, logo choice. We made the display name, and then you can add the individual options. So level 1, logo 1, logo 2. You can add as many options as you want. To the drop down selection. The overall price for the drop-down, it's not actually based on the individual options. It's actually based on just a general selection that the customer would make. So if you wanted to upcharge maybe like a difference between choosing like an embroidered logo versus a printed logo, you would actually need 2 different drop-downs for that if you're charging differently. And essentially just a yes option. So you could do something like this. Maybe it's a $5 charge for the embroidered logo and just have a yes and make it optional, that they choose that. And so if they choose yes in the drop down, it would charge the $5. All right, so let's go to the My Account section now. And what we want to cover in here is a feature that some of you may not be familiar with. It's been here a while, but we have made visual updates to it. It's going to be the multi-store web page feature.
All right, so anytime you have a circumstance, a client that has multiple teams, multiple divisions, most common example that came up last week, I have a school and they've asked me to set up 7 different stores for different clubs, organizations within that school. A reading club, a chess club, the marijuana club, which is okay now. Anyway, if you ever run across a situation in which there's one client with multiple store requirements, consider using this tool. We call it multi-store web page tool. It sets up one landing page that can include as many individual online stores as you want to add. So go ahead and show them how it works, Lee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you get the choice to assign whatever stores that you want. As long as they're open, they will display on this page. And as you're scrolling through, initially you would share the link to this multi-store web page. So anyone that has the link would arrive to this location where all these stores are grouped. So,
or it's easy to post it directly on the client's website.
Right.
That's very common. Take a multi-store web page, link it to your client's website, one click, and they have access to all the stores.
Mm-hmm. Can you do this with rostered club stores and Spiritwear stores and all of them, or is it just under certain categories?
You can link any store anywhere you want. The downside is that with a roster store, you're going to get a personal invite. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go to a website. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit there and you're going to get an email with the login and password.
Well, just thinking about it, so people, when they go log into places like for us, we keep our uniforms separate than the Spiritwear, so maybe they do see that there is a Spiritwear store and they can see both things up here at once and maybe go into both.
It's just the only downside is, yes, you can. The answer is yes. Practically speaking, not practical because everyone that can get into that store has their own password. So you'll frustrate people. I'm clicking on the store and I can't get in. Well, you can't get in because it's a roster store and you need to have a password to get in.
Okay.
But yeah, customers that arrive on this page, they can just click Shop Now. It'll open in a separate tab, taking them to the store. So, just so there's no confusion with that. Is there another multi-store web page here that we want to show?
Baseball. I told you baseball. I want baseball.
This one right here?
Yes.
All right, let's view that one.
Those are my favorite.
Yep, so you have the animated banner too. Yeah, so you can upload an overall banner for the organization, or maybe it is just your dealership multi-store web page where you just offer all your different team stores or whatever types of stores.
So whoever asked that question before, just be aware, you can link any store, any TUO store onto any website. So we do have a few clients at every TUO store they set up, they attach it to their website. The only downside to that is your competitors know who you're selling. And if it's an open store, they can come in and see what prices you're selling for. Mm-hmm. But any store on TUO can be linked to any website.
Yeah, but as far as setting this up, we won't go into this in too much detail, but you'd go My Account. What we want to highlight here is that
hold on.
Oh, go ahead, Jerry.
Whoever uses manage orders? Does anybody?
Good point.
I've been using it a lot more often.
All right. We're gonna guess the majority of the folks on this call didn't even know it existed or what it is. So again, as with everything, we'll do the best to explain basic functionality. But if what we're about to tell you has any interest to you, reach out to us because it does require understanding of what it can do, this tool can do, which we'll do in about 30 seconds. But most importantly, number 2, working with you to set up your unique steps that an order goes through. So what this tool does is allow you to track every single order from every single store you set up. It does require that we work with you and set up whatever steps you want to track. Some clients have 5 steps. An order is being processed, the credit card cleared, the first 3 steps we control on our end because they relate to the actual credit card transaction. So 1, 2, and 3 are hardwired, payment cleared. Next, you work with us or we can show you how you can set up the steps that are customized for you to track. Most common ones are item is being decorated, item is on back order, item is being shipped, items available for pickup. So whatever steps you decide you want to track, the cool part about this feature is that not only can you set up those steps, but you can set up any one of those steps to trigger a proactive email notification to the shopper. So it'll tell them exactly what step the order's at. So as you're moving items through the order process you've set up, and you've clicked on, I want the shopper to be notified, it will automatically send out an email alert that lets them know, just want to let you know your item's available for pickup. Just want to let you know that we're decorating your item. Whatever step you've set up, if you've activated the notification tool, it will automatically and proactively alert your shopper. For those few clients who have actually used this tool quite well, I have to tell you that the level of satisfaction from their customers skyrockets. Shoppers think it's really cool that after they've placed their order 3 or 4 weeks later, that they've been alerted 2 or 3 times exactly what status their order is at. So if it's something you haven't looked at seriously, it's a good time of year right now, December and January, to work with us to help you set up the manage order tool in your dashboard. So with that as the background, we simplified and overhauled the ability for some of the filtering tools to make it easier for you to go find items. The most common question we had on this, and it happens a lot, hey, a customer just reached out and they want a refund. So they told me the exact amount of their order, $25.35. Well, I don't have the customer ID. And it used to be difficult to go and find who was that customer. So we actually added more robust filtering tools to let you more easily go in and find exactly the group of orders or the individual orders that you're looking for. So with that as a background, Lee, go ahead. Sorry I stole your thunder again, but I just wanted to make sure everyone understood what the tool does.
Sure. Yep, so right here we selected all of our stores first, and we're actually filtering by label right now, so we're making use of one of those labels, filtering out soccer orders. Generally, though, you'd want to filter just one store at a time, obviously, because you're probably just working with one store. So you could just select one at a time, but we're just going to do this. And you can also filter by product, if you need to get that specific. But otherwise, what's actually new here is the ability to filter by amounts based on the order totals. So we could say something like $0 to $100. I want to capture all of the orders that are in that range. So we can do a search. And so it will refine the search and only actually get the orders that are in that actual amount range. And if you, again, like Jerry mentioned, if you're working with a customer and maybe they don't have their order number, but they have the amount that was charged, to their card, then they could give you that amount and you could find their order more easily using this as well. After searching, you can select any number of orders. So you can bulk select this way. You can also select individually. And then from there, you can change the process status. And again, this is configured in your My Account section. If you want to set up any of these steps, you can turn on email notifications so customers actually receive a update when you do change the status. So if we say something like shipped, then we can add an additional note here. So you could add like the tracking number or the estimation.
So top 10 most common questions we get once a week. No, not once a week. 15 times a week from a variety of people. It goes like this. I just found out that Under Armour or Adidas item XYZ is going to be delayed 2 more weeks till we receive it. I need to let all of the people who just bought that product in one of my stores, I have to let them know that it's on back order. So they reach out and go, what do I do? So 2 things that come up in that. Number 1, how to use the send notification tool. But the first question we ask back, have you set up the manage orders part of your dashboard? And 99.9% of the time, the answer is no. So if you've ever run across that situation in which, something happened, I have an immediate need to go in and identify a group of customers to let them know about something, this is the way to do it. Because if you had set it up, the manage orders dashboard, and you had one of the steps be items on back order, you could go in and easily, as Lee showed you, find the brand, find the product, identify the customers that bought that product. It's already activated to let them know. And in a couple of clicks, you can notify every customer. So again, time of year, December, January, good time of year to kind of look overall at all your processes. This would be one to look at. If we can be of help in helping you set up and show you how to use it, let us know. So Lee, what's next? We got about 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was actually an update to the order status options from your My Account section, so we will actually briefly visit that. So you can actually create custom messages, like pre-filled messages, so you don't have to type in the same type of information over and over again. Let me actually just go to the section. So again, that's My Account, Order Fulfillment Status Settings is the section where you actually configure these steps. And what you can do now, besides just being able to rearrange this way, so we do have drag and drop functionality to change the display order as far as your statuses. There's the send email notification option, that's unchanged. But what you can do now is edit any one of your statuses. And if we scroll down, you'll see this option to actually edit the default email body. So whenever you choose the status, and after you've selected orders, you're changing the status, it'll pre-fill with whatever message you have here. Yep, so we can update that fulfillment status. So again, that's just setting it up internally. That's not going to notify customers from this section. And if you wanted to add new statuses, that is also set up a little bit differently now. There's a button at the bottom of your list of statuses. You'll click on that, and then you can enter the name of a new status you want to add, set up whether or not you want to allow order changes, the types of changes you want to allow for that order, or rather that status that's assigned to orders, and then whether or not you want to send email notifications when that status is used. But we're going to go back to the home page, and I'm just going to show you the pre-fill, how that works. Okay, so we're just going to select bulk amount of orders, and we're going to choose that ship status, and you'll see it pre-fills with a message that we set up in our My Account section.
And for those of you who are creative out there, notice that all of the email notification boxes are what we call rich media enabled. So those fancy tools at the top, change fonts, change styles, you can embed pictures, you can embed links. So those tools at the top of that box simply mean that the emails can be creatively designed, HTML. So I want a happy face in there, Lee. Can you put a happy face? No, actually, it's a sad face because it's going to be late shipping. All right. So at this point, one other quickie thing, just be aware, go back to homepage if you don't mind. You may have noticed graphically that the tabs at the top of your dashboard are different. It's not a graphic update. It's actually a functional update. So just be aware as you look at those tabs at the top, they're what we call sticky tabs. And all that means is it's tracking what you've been doing in your dashboard. So when you click on, for example, home, and then you go to search, if you were to click back on your browser now, it'll take you back to where you just were. Whereas before, frankly, those that use the back feature in their browser, it wouldn't necessarily go back to the same place that you were at, and that's because we didn't have sticky tabs, but now we do. And as long as we're there back on the home page, I'll ask it as a question. Does anybody use store actions at all? So go to home page, Lee. Store history or store actions. So click on the store, any store, makes no difference. Yep. That yellow button at the top, are you aware of what that is?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody using it?
Yes, all the time.
Okay, good. We still get a lot of questions every once a week or so going, what is that? So if you're in a specific store, now you can actually go to any functional area of that store, catalogs, view orders, PDF flyer report. In the club and roster stores, it even gives you advanced access to some of the advanced club and team, I should have said, features. All right. So at this point, we'll pause. And now, if anybody wants to hang on and they have specific areas, they have our full and undivided attention, questions you'd like us to address, feel free to do so right now. Otherwise, nobody? Lee, guess what? It's finally happened. That day is here, November 30th, 2018, in which every single user of TeamUniformOrders.com, TUO Systems, knows everything about the platform.
What a day.
What a day. Nobody? Anybody? All right. So if there are no more questions, we thank you for your time. As always, we record, we'll edit, condense, and then we'll post this webinar. And where we have also posted all webinars, not all, but the last 4, 5, or 6 that we do. Everything is available in the TUO Connect button. So many of you know that it exists, upper right corner of your dash. Lee, you going to click on that for us? So on the TUL Connect page, certainly you're familiar. You can chat with us. You can send us a form question. You can schedule a personal session if you want. Also be aware, we maintain a video resource library, simple how-to videos. We've got a few videos we have to produce from these feature release. At the bottom of this page, the video resource page, at the very bottom is where we post all of the most recent webinars. I tell you that because you may have members of your team that didn't have a chance to attend today. Certainly tell them that they can actually go and watch today's webinar if they want, or any of the past webinars we've held recently. All right? So Lee,
Sounds good.
can you check how many people are left? I think we chased them all away. Let me see here. All right. So we appreciate your attendance. Carrie, it was great catching up. Alan and Tad, twice in one day, right? Pretty lucky. So everyone have a great weekend. You know how to locate us, find us if you want to get deeper into any of the issues that we touched upon today, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Happy hour time, Carrie.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I hear you.
All
Bye.
right.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye-bye.